Guys, you know what? I spent 17 years in the car industry selling, financing, managing car dealerships. And guess what? Now I'm going to share with you the secrets they use to rip you off. You know, most people hate shopping for cars at dealerships, and in most cases, for good reason. It can be the most horrible experience. So before you walk in a dealership lot to buy your next car, here are a few things you need to know. Welcome to the Money Growth Academy, where we demystify the stock market, simplify investing, and multiply your opportunities for financial success. So you're probably wondering, as you watch this video, what does buying a car have to do with investing? Well, a ton, because as I've said previously, financial independence is not solely based on what you make. It's about what you keep and where you keep it. And buying a car, you better believe it's about what you keep. Did you know that buying a car can be like pouring water on your fire? You know, fire, financial independence, and retiring early. Buying a car for most people is the worst financial decision they'll make in their life. More people get set back financially early in life by bad car buying decisions than almost anything else. Here are 3 things you can expect when you walk into a dealership. Number 1, they want to sell you a car. Duh, that's obvious. Number 2, they want to capture your financing. And number 3, they want to sell you add-ons in the finance office, whether you need them or not. I'm going to show you the psychology dealerships use to make these 3 things happen to their advantage using a diagram called Foursquare. Think of it as a dealership square dance, and it's really designed to take more dollars out of your pocket and put more dollars in their pockets. Don't get me wrong here, a dealership is a business. Businesses have one goal, and that is to make a profit. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how businesses stay in business. Dealerships that'll operate under a 503c, and it's not a charity. And on the flip side of that, I don't think you need to operate as a 503c either. So I'm not altogether blaming the dealerships for the tactics that I'm going to share with you today. We as a consumer need to take some responsibility also. The dealership is taking advantage of those people without the knowledge to protect themselves and shop intelligently. Some people will spend more time trying to figure out an outfit to wear to a party than they would actually buying a car. So I'm going to give you the knowledge to make an intelligent buying decision and keep more money in your pocket to add more fuel to your fire. Let me explain each of these squares. So this first square is your trade-in. If you come in with a trade, the dealerships, they love you. It provides them with more leverage to hold more margin, essentially profit in the car that they're selling you, and gives them another opportunity to take more money out of your pockets. So let's talk about this. So the objective of the dealer when dealing with your trade is to devalue your trade, right? Because if they can do that, well, let's just talk about it a minute. So they're going to, whether you're using Kelley Blue Book, Edmunds, or whether you're using AutoCheck, they're going to try to steal your trade. Essentially, all that means is they're going to try to devalue the trade to make it worth less than what it actually is. They'll kind of nitpick the car, scratches, dings, imperfections, and they'll inflate the cost of the repairs and subtract it from the baseline value that the dealer had determined. That's your trade-in. Now, if you buy their car and trade in yours, don't essentially take your trade to the auction if it's a beater, right? Or they'll put it on their lot if it's retailable. And if they can retail it, they'll recondition it, they'll put it on their lot and try to make a sizable profit. Your best defense for a dealership offense here is to do your homework. Know realistically what your car is worth. To a dealer, no trade-in is in excellent condition. After 17 years in the car business, I've only seen one truly excellent condition vehicle, and that was brought in by a widow who brought in her deceased husband's vehicle, and it was immaculate. There was nothing for the dealership to do except run it through an inspection check and put it on the lot. Most consumers that bring in their trade-in believe their cars are in excellent condition, when in reality, to a dealer that has inspected hundreds of cars, it's really only good, fair, or poor. So when you're evaluating your trade, keep that in mind. And here are some online tools that you can use to evaluate your trade-in before you walk into a dealership, and I highly recommend that you use them. KelleyBlueBook.com, which is owned by Cox Automotive. A little bit of challenge there, and that is that some people actually believe KelleyBlueBook.com might have some slight price bias in favor of dealers as a result of being owned by Cox Automotive, who also owns AutoTrader and DealerTrack, which is the finance and insurance software used by many dealerships. There's also AutoCheck. There's also Edmunds, and another good one people don't know of and don't use that often, that's eBay Motors. You can sort on criteria and then select sold items, and it'll tell you exactly what cars like that have sold for. Another one that you also can use is TrueCar, another really good source. I'd recommend booking your car out on at least 3 different sources to get a sense of the range of trade-in values for your car. If you're trading in a car with negative equity, meaning you owe more on the car than it's actually worth, then they kind of have you over a barrel. This is normally always a bad situation for you. The dealer has to look for a car on the lot that you can afford and can fully absorb the negative equity balance of your trade-in. These cars are usually the cars with the highest profit margins on the lot and can more easily absorb the negative equity of your trade and still leave the dealer with a sizable profit. Essentially what that means is they're going to roll the difference of the car that you're bringing in, and they're going to roll that into the new car and the new loan. If you can avoid getting into this situation, I would strongly recommend it because it doesn't get better financially for you from here. There's nothing like driving around in a $46,000 pickup truck that's only really worth about $30,000 the very minute you drive it off the lot. The next square is money down. This square right here, it helps the dealer determine how much they can push your car payment and the number of add-ons that they can sell you on that loan. So this little baby right here, okay? So sometimes a dealership may try to get you to put down less, right? They might try to get you to put down less money. And by doing that, allow you to finance more money, and they'll try to convince you that, if you put down less, it leaves more money in your pocket, and you have more money in your pocket, and when things come up in the future, you'll have that cash available to do what you need. But in reality, how many people do you think actually make those extra payments over the lifetime of the loan with all the extra cash they didn't put down? Think about that. Some may try to actually get you to put more money down so they can have more room to add on more accessories, right? So they'll have you put a little bit more money down. And so they'll sell you things like extended warranties, etch. They'll sell you, etch is just those little serial numbers they put on all the windows. Low jack, that's that little hidden device in the car and helps the police find your car if it should get stolen. And so that's why they'll have you put more money down, because you can buy more accessories. So all of this to increase the dollars generated in the F&I office. F&I just simply means finance and insurance office. That's the place where you go and this 4 square comes up. That's the finance office where the paperwork, the documentation it takes place in there. So let me tell you, your best defense against a dealership's offense here is more money down. So you want more money down, because more money means a sooner payoff for you and less finance costs. Now, the third square is price, okay? So this is a point of negotiation for every dealer, especially on a new car. And they already know how low they can go to make a deal happen. And it's not just on a new car, but used cars have more margin. So anyway, your best defense against a dealership offense is not to introduce your trade-in until after you get the price, okay? In other words, don't mention the trade until you have a firm price. You'll get a better price presented if you don't mention your trade-in. Trust me on that one. If they ask you if you'll be trading a car, just simply tell them no. Secondly, to know if the price a dealership is offering you is the best price you can get, to find this out, you're going to have to do some homework, right? You're going to have to compare some prices across local dealerships. This is easy to do on the internet. And remember, when you call a dealership, the price they tell you on the phone may not be the price that they actually will sell it to you for. So you want to use services like kellybluebook.com, Edmunds, TrueCar, AutoCheck, and you want to use these services to get a better sense of the range of prices, right? The range of prices for the car that you're looking at buying. I would suggest having 3 to 5 comparisons, including local dealership pricing. It's important for you to know the value of the car that you're buying before showing up on the dealer lot. Be prepared. This gives you more leverage to get the better price. The next best defense is to be prepared to walk away. Look, if you're in love with the car, they got you. Just open your pockets up, open your purse. Also, if you're fortunate to belong to certain credit unions like USAA, for example, they have built-in discounted pricing for their members with dealerships all over the country. Know this, you will work through a range of prices with a dealership during the negotiation process. So if you're going to get a good deal, and you can, make sure that you do your homework so that you get a deal that you can live with. And the fourth square is monthly payment. This is the big daddy right here, okay? So according to Experian, the credit rating agency, the average monthly payment on a vehicle is about $500 a month. That's new. If it's used, it's about $400 a month is the average. This fourth square is the most important of all the squares. Why? Because oftentimes the dealership, they can make more money here than they can actually make selling the car. Unfortunately, for most consumers, they only shop for monthly payment. But it makes sense because people want as much car as possible for the monthly payment that they can afford, or they think they can afford. There are 5 factors that determine your monthly car payment. Number 1, whether the car you're buying is new or used. Number 2, the loan amount, right? The loan amount balance. Number 3, the interest rate of the loan. The lower the credit score, the higher your rate, and the higher your monthly payment will be. And number 4, the interest rate on the loan, the lower your credit score, the higher interest rate you'll pay. And number 5, the loan term. That is how long you have to pay back the loan. The longer the term of the loan, the less your car payment will be, but not without risk. Longer term loans can leave you upside down in your car, meaning you owe more than the car is actually worth, and especially in the first 4 years of a 72-month car loan. This is dangerous because if you try to trade in or sell your car within the first 4 to 5 years of ownership, you may find out you owe more on the car than the car is actually worth and be required to pay off the remaining debt on the car before you're able actually to sell the car. Or you might unfortunately have to roll negative equity into the next car and enter that, what we call the lethal debt spiral. Another situation that's really horrible is if you're in an accident and you total your car within the first 4 years of that 72-month contract, you could be left really financially exposed because the insurance company will only pay you for what the current market value is for the car, leaving you to continue making monthly payments for a car you can no longer drive. But guess what? You still got to get another car. So now you got this monthly car payment for a car that you don't have anymore, and then you need a new car payment. So to keep your fire burning, if you have to take a 72 or 84-month loan, you have to ask yourself, do you really need that car so bad that you're willing to jeopardize your financial independence and early retirement goal? Hey, but don't worry, dealerships have you covered for those extended loans. They'll sell you an expensive gap insurance. This is guaranteed asset protection. It covers the gap between what you owe on the car and what the car is worth if you should total the car. Isn't that nice? That's fantastic. So leaving you clear of the loan itself and making it available so that you can go ahead and buy another car. The dealership's golden question is, what do you want your monthly payment to be? That's the golden question. Your best defense against the dealership offense is to always walk into the dealership pre-approved. It's your superpower. I would recommend checking with your local credit union for the best rates. This is going to impact that payment. Compare at least 2 credit unions before committing to one. If you're pre-approved, requesting more money down by the dealership takes that off the table, right? So get yourself pre-approved. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to try, right? This is normally done by convincing you they can get you a lower rate and then, in fact, steal the financing from the credit union. If your credit union, in fact, has a higher rate, say 1 to 1.5% or more, it might be more advantageous to go with the dealership. But the dealership knows if they can get the financing, they have a better chance of getting those add-ons the finance manager is selling you. And the finance office, especially if it's within your stated monthly payment target. The reality is your payment will not change that much by 1/4 or 0.5% difference in finance rate because the loan amount is relatively small compared to something like a home mortgage and the length of time of the loan is typically shorter for a car than it is for a home, 48 to 72 months. You can find loan calculators on local credit union websites or online. Just Google car loan calculator. One of my favorite car loan calculators is provided by Mountain America Credit Union. You don't even have to be a member to use it. It's simple to use, more customizable. You can input the purchase price and put your value of your trade-in, the amount if you have a trade-in, the down payment if you have one, cash rebate if the car is new, the amount you owe on your rate, the term of the loan, and how you want it graphically displayed below once you hit the calculate button. It's pretty cool. We'll have the link below in our show notes, so you'll be able to check that out. Here's an example. We put a table together for you to give you an example of the payment and interest spread by interest rate. And so as you can see here on the left, I've got loan amount, then there's interest rate, and then loan period, monthly payment, and then interest paid, the amount of interest paid over the term of the loan. So the loan amount left exactly the same, $15,000. The interest rate, you can see it varies, 4%, 4.5%, and then 5%. And then the loan period is exactly the same as 60 months. Monthly payments, of course, they vary because the interest rate varies. And what I'm trying to illustrate to you here is that there's very little difference between 1/4% and 0.5%, as I mentioned before, because it's not a mortgage. It's a much smaller loan balance, right? So the impact of that 1/4% or 0.5% doesn't make that much of a difference. And I'm going to show you that. So at interest paid, you can see at 4%, you're $1,575. At a 0.5% increase, right? If you had to take another 0.5%, let's say your credit union was a 0.5% higher, it's $1,779. So you're talking about a $204 difference between the two in terms of interest paid over the life of the loan. And you're really talking about a $4 difference in payment between 4% and 4.5%. So $4 difference between a monthly payment. It's not that huge. And then as you look from a 0.5% again, for 4.5% to 5%, you can see again there's very little difference. But what I really want you to take a look at is to contrast the 4% to the 5% jump. Okay, the 1% increase. And in a 1% increase, you're talking about $7 a month in payment increase on a per month basis, and about $409 more over the life of the loan if you went from 4% to 5%. That's still manageable, that's still budgetable, but you can see there's not that much of a difference. So really when you're talking about maybe 1 to 1.5%, 1.5% probably better, might be an opportunity there, but you got to look at the overall picture, what your credit union is going to be able to offer you. So as a side note, I highly recommend you pull your credit report prior to walking even into a credit union, so the credit union won't be tempted to push a slightly higher interest rate. I don't think that happens, but it keeps honest people honest. And so make sure you know your credit rating before you go on. And look, if the rate is better at the dealership, I told you, don't be afraid to ask your credit union to match it. You might be surprised at their answer. So back to pulling your own credit, because I mentioned make sure you know what your credit report said. Heck, it's free, right? So pull your own credit report and look at what's on your credit report. Clean off things that shouldn't be on there to raise your score. Know your credit score before financing anywhere. So there are several legitimate ways to check credit score online, and you can actually do that for free. So for instance, if you own a Capital One credit card, you can use CreditWise from Capital One located on the Capital One website. You can also check your FICO score for free if you have the following credit cards. And so if you have American Express, if you have Bank of America, Discover, and even if you don't have a Discover card, you can still use your system. You can still use their system to check your score. You can actually go to creditscorecard.com. That's creditscorecard.com and do that as well. You'll need to create an account, provide your social security number, and so forth. Another one is Credit Karma. It's free credit score and report, which gives you scores for TransUnion and Equifax. It will tell you what you may need to fix on your credit report, which I think is important so that you can improve your overall score. The score may be off plus or minus 20 to 30 points, but it will let you know if you have problems that need to be addressed. You want to check the credit union's extended warranty program. Extended warranty programs on used cars can be a tremendous benefit if it includes more mechanical repairs than it actually excludes. They can help you protect your budget from unexpected costly expenses during the coverage period, especially if it's a used car that is outside the warranty period. It can also add more value to your car if you decide to sell the car within the warranty period, because a car advertised with a warranty is worth more than one advertised without it. A credit union pre-approval is really your ticket to shop with less worry and more confidence. So folks, there you go. A look at the dealership's best offense, the Foursquare, and your best defenses to protect your finances as you pursue your FIRE plan. Square dancing may be good for dancing, but square dancing with the dealership can leave you broke. Refer back to this video as often as you must, and feel free to share it with friends and family to help them save money. Hey, thanks for watching, and if this was helpful, give us a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video.